right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. On my way to church, I just prayed, God, can we have a service without any shenanigans today? Can it just all be ordained by your Spirit? And no foolish, fleshly activity? Wouldn't that be nice? We are in Acts 25, but we're going to skip it. You know why? Because nothing happens. It's just all the prearrangements to imprisoning Paul. And so the authorities are playing hot potato with him because they don't want to be presiding over someone's punishment if they're being falsely accused. Interestingly, though, I segued to the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, and guess what the message is? Being falsely accused. Oh yeah, baby. How do you like that? I love it when that happens. So the story in the Aquarian Gospel is one that doesn't occur in the regular Gospels, which is infrequent. If you ever read the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, I highly recommend it, by the way. You'll notice that he borrows from the Gospels from the Bible more frequently than not. Today is an exception to that, where a poor man is caught stealing bread for his starving wife and children. And Jesus, of course, runs to his defense and publicly humiliates all of his accusers and says, you know, each of you are with more sin than this guy. And so, you know, instead of sending him to prison, they send him on his way. Curiously, no one feeds him. I don't know what that was about, but or I might have overlooked it. I don't know. I didn't see any feeding of the starving man and his family. But anyway, Jesus is bringing attention to how hypocritical it is that, people will have lists of wrongdoings in their life, but see no problem in bringing attention to a wrongdoing in someone else's life, when, even in the case when they have no other choice, basically starving. So what can we do with that? Where do we see that in our lives? It's a good kind of a soul-searching homework assignment for you. Think about any frame of mind, pattern of behavior, egregious activity, that you can identify in your own life that disqualifies you from the continual judgments you bring against those who have no other recourse from their behavior. Lots of things come to mind in my life, stuff that's more ancient history than recent, primarily because I'm so holy these days. But usually when I find myself in that position, I think twice, 3 times, 4 times, and try to consider the person whose behavior I'm judging is likely doing all they can that behavior is an example of the best of their ability. Now, of course, in Christ, we all could rise above our shortcomings. But until you had that revelation, until you had that teaching, until you have that experience, you don't know any better. And for lack of a better phrase, you could say we're all doing the best we can. Even pieces of scum like Robert De Niro, who repeatedly would be seen publicly wishing ill and or death on Donald Trump. I mean, you can disagree with somebody's ideas, but publicly wishing them ill and harm and even death and feeling like you're justified in it? Wow. That's the extreme, baby. So, if you're not as bad as Robert De Niro, you might find yourself somewhere on the scale of really looking down on someone for their behavior without really considering that they're not as enlightened as you. They haven't come to the understanding of who Jesus is. They haven't had the experience of seeing other people transformed in their lives by faith and the indwelling of God's Spirit, where we can overcome our selves. So I just find that is helpful in forgiving them for whatever it is they're doing, even though it'll still annoy the heck out of me. But even that, I've noticed, you know, you rest in the Spirit of God and you let the Spirit of God rest in you. And even those obnoxious behaviors become less annoying to you because you've put them in the proper context, that these are unenlightened people who are misinformed and just don't know any better. And it's up to us to show them a better way. Oh yeah, baby.